Yo, JD here, and as you can see, we are back on F1 22 as always, and we are back with some open lobbies. It's actually been a while since I've done some of these, but from now until Christmas and the New Year, I'll be doing this on a very regular basis. And you can see straight away, we are in Cockpit camera, and a lot of people have been asking me to try this. I have done it before on F1, but this time I've actually altered the cockpit settings a little bit. So I've got removed the centerpiece of the halo, bring the field of view a little bit closer, and just raising the vertical height of where I'm actually sitting so I can see a little bit better than it was in the default. And from doing iRacing and from doing other games, I thought, what can I do to maybe make this game a bit more exciting? Because my last video we discussed on what things could be improved in the F1 22 game and what we were hoping for F1 23. But in the meantime, I'm just looking to enjoy myself much more whilst I still play this game. And I think a way to do that is to definitely jump in this, because whenever I've done this in the past, it just felt like a completely different experience. And I know I've done a video talking about why F1 esports should be using this, and that's something I still stand by, because I feel like not enough people do use it because it's not a forced option in the game. And doing these couple of races here, the biggest thing that I have a hard time with these games is just kind of feeling the car, feeling somewhat connected to what you're driving. And being in this view here, is it the same as Assetto Corsa or iRacing? No, it's not. But is it better than what I was using before, which was the TV pod offset? Just the sense of speed and just the connectivity to the car just felt so much much better, and the racing just felt so much more intense. And it's been a while since I've had a bit of a smile when playing the official Formula 1 game, but doing these lobbies here today, I did them all in the cockpit camera, and it was just so much more fun. Even when I made a mistake or there was a bit of contact and I got taken out, it just felt so much more satisfying to drive. And my question to you is, does the game need to kind of enforce this as an option? Because right now, unless I'm wrong, you can't force certain camera views or anything at all. Because I think if it was forced and leagues decided to do this and F1 esports was forced, then you'd see a lot more people use this view. But now, as I said before, the main reason why people decide to go outside the car is because not really so much for the speed and the competitive edge, but just your ability to see so much more around you. And when you're racing wheel to wheel, or you're right up behind someone, which you will see, and once I get a bit closer to Goxie here, your visibility is severely impacted. But if F1 esports and the top leagues enforce this rule, and where they had to use the cockpit camera, then everyone would be using it, and it just felt so much nicer to drive. I just felt a lot more connected to the car, and the racing just felt a lot more intense. The sense of speed is obviously nothing compared to an Assetto Corsa or iRacing or anything like that, but it is much better than it was previously. And yeah, it just made it a much more satisfying experience. That's one of the main things I've taken away from this. And again, let me know if you think there should be a option to actually force this camera angle or view or something at all, because they do that with the assists, but they don't do it with the camera views and other features of the game itself. So maybe this is something they could introduce for the F1 23 game, because yeah, just driving in this, it just felt just much nicer, and just felt like I had a lot more to do. I can't even see my throttle and braking input as well. Like the ERS bar, I have to actually look on my steering wheel like they do in real life. So you're not actually getting full access to the HUD like you do in the other views. And again, it's when you're racing against other people who do have access to that and they can see more of the car, then I understand why people do that. But there's no way at the moment where you can actually encourage people to use this. And I'd definitely love to see this in F1 esports. Seeing the best drivers on the game use it, I think will encourage the rest of the population and the community to be doing the same as well. So you can see here, we're using the ERS button, and as we come into this corner, you can see the visibility. We can't even see the brake markable until really just the last moment. Think of the last lap, it's even more than that. But yeah, just something a little bit different. And past week or so, I've just been learning to try and just enjoy the game much more rather than stressing myself out. And with league racing and stuff like that as well, just kind of having a bit of a reset. And doing this definitely just gave me kind of a new experience with the game itself. And maybe the next step is to actually try the VR function. And since I've been in iRacing and other games, it feels weird to be outside the cockpit view, which is why I might actually even try this in a league race just for fun, just as a one-off. I might not be that competitive when I use it because I'm used to it, but just giving another dynamic and just another sense of immersion in the game. And as I said, I think the main thing is just that it's just a lot more satisfying to drive itself. It kind of feels like you're cheating when you're above the car. But again, I understand both sides of the argument, and even esport drivers in the past, such as Bonner House, Lucas Blakely himself used to even use cockpit cam. Now he doesn't, mainly because you're losing kind of that competitive edge if you can't see as much around you. But you can see here, going into here, I literally couldn't see absolutely anything, so I kind of had to guess. So just purely relying on my muscle memory coming through here, and you can see we get a bit of a poor exit because of that, because you just can't see that much ahead of you. When you're above the car, you can see so much more of what's coming. His right light is flashing, so we're going to go down the inside at the end of it straight. That actually puts him out wide, so it's still going side by side into the final chicane. Let's see who blinks first. So we're going to go around the outside to get the inside for the final chicane, and a little bit of contact, but we get the move done. And you can see that's the first time I've actually had a smile on my face playing this game for months. Honestly, it just felt so much nicer, so much more satisfying to do something like that. And yeah, GG Goxie was very, very kind there. And if you'd like to join his open lobbies, all you have to do is click the join button on my YouTube channel, become a YouTube member, or even become a Twitch subscriber. Then if you join my members only Discord, you will get full access to everything, where I invite many people into these races as a priority. My members get the priority. So we've got 5 lights here, and as the lights go out now, we get a fairly good start. Running pretty low downforce around this track, where I think we're running 5-1 wings in his open lobby, so just trying to avoid the cars. And again, we can't even see anything. You can't even see a wing mirror at this stage. Go around here, trying to go to the outside, and we're up into 5th place. Go down the inside, but then we just miss our braking point, and the McLaren was going so slow there. So yeah, that was definitely my responsibility. So massive apologies to Fance in the McLaren. Very, very sorry for that. I think I would have made the corner anyway, but he was also going pretty slow. But I always say it's the cars behind responsibility most of the time, so I'll definitely take the responsibility on that one. But no, we managed to actually get through that carnage after bulldozing our way through there. And let's see what we could do. And especially on this track, going through the chicane, the sense of speed was just so much more, because when you're outside of the car and you're even further away from the car, everything just kind of feels slowed down. And now that's something you could say is more of an advantage. Like if you're higher in the sky, you can see more of the horizon. You can see more what's coming to you, and everything appears a bit slower. But when you're much closer to it, everything's coming at you so much faster itself. And for me, it just felt, just a lot more immersive and just a lot more intense, when you're in the cockpit camera. And no, I'd love to do a league where they actually enforce this, because I think pretty much everyone would have a lot more fun. But as we're coming into here now, up into P3, the fight for the lead here, we've got this guy called CLK Orkston, if I can say that correctly. I'm horrendous at pronouncing names, but this guy is actually quite fast, so I knew this would be quite a good test to see what my pace was like. As we confirmed at Silverstone, the pace was actually pretty good there in the cockpit camera. You can see with the 5-1 wings, an absolute bullet in a straight line. And yeah, we've already discussed this from the last video. I do think low downforce is a little bit too OP on this game as well. And yeah, we're up into second place, and coming into here, just gotta try and get as close as we can to make sure we stay within this DRS zone, as it's very, very important. It looks like he's running a lot more downforce than us, so he's gonna be quick in these sequence of corners. Gotta protect, have a little bit of a lock-up. So again, not able to see our telemetry with the pedals, so we have to rely a lot more on the feeling, which is something else I really liked driving in a cockpit. You could felt like you just had to rely a lot more of the feeling of the car rather than what you can see ahead of you, because you can't really see that much. You do have to go a little bit more on what the force feedback is telling you. So I definitely felt a lot more connected to the car itself driving in this view. You can see he's making a bit of a gain here, so he's over 1 second away. But going down the straight on the exit of this corner, you're about to see the power of 5-1 wing. So using that ERS, you can see we're enabling it on our steering wheel, and now we've decided to turn it off. And yeah, just the low wings is just absolutely ridiculous in a straight line. In a league race, this probably wouldn't work going against other people who are also pretty fast, but in a 5-lap race, yeah, low wings, you can really get away with very, very low wings round most circuits. So you can see we're getting a little bit closer here, but you can also see that he's actually got quite good pace as well, so definitely not taking it for granted. Going around this last corner, getting in the next DRS zone, just go look behind to see if we have activated it, which I think we have. Crossing line, we set the fast lap up on 19.4. Coming into start, I'm going a little bit deep here with the lack of the downforce. Get the DRS on the exit as well, and you can see since we're running such low wings, we have saved quite a lot of the battery, so we're going to keep this in reserve as much as possible. But it's through these sequences of corners, you can see that's how he pulls away, so almost up to 1 second. Again, we're coming off this right hander, going onto the straight, going a little bit wide again, but using the overtake button, we're going to be quite comfortably still within the DRS zone, so turning it off, and you can see just in a straight line, even without the DRS, we are just so fast in a straight line. It's pretty unfair almost going through here. Getting the DRS on the exit as well, but as we discussed last video, the DRS is not really that effective at all. And one thing I noticed is that no matter what wings you have, if someone's using the overtake button ahead of you, it doesn't matter if you're running much lower wings, they can still defend against you quite nicely. So you really are relying on people ahead to kind of run out of their ERS, but you can't really save any extra when you're behind them. So usually the person who's going to be faster on raw pace is going to be the guy who wins the 1v1 battle on this game. But going into the final lap, need to be as close as we can to this guy here. So going to use a bit of the ERS on the exit here, saving it all for the straight. You can see really super close coming into this turn 3. So try and be as close as we can coming through this section. He's actually gone out a little bit out wide as well, so try and take it almost flat out. Wasn't quite brave enough to do it on that occasion. Coming onto the straight, making sure we try and get a really good exit, get a much better exit this time. Now he's using the battery. You can see we're not really gaining that quickly, but as he starts to lose the battery, you can see we're gaining and gaining and gaining. Does he go quite defensive? Yes, he does go defensive. I think his red light is flashing as well. So purple in the sector, trying to get a good exit coming off here, using the ERS again. Is his red light flashing? I don't think it is quite yet, but we're so much faster. Australia and come for him. Got to go around the outside, but they're coming to here. We've actually been pushed out wide a little bit. We've got caught on our rear, something you can't see from the cockpit camera. And yeah, I think it would have been difficult to make that corner anyway. But I did feel a little bit of contact. So off the exit for this last corner, we decided to let him go because I thought that'd be fair. But so he braked, but then he thinks, no, maybe I deserve to win because he did go out wide himself. So GG for the sportsmanship. And honestly, this is actually the most fun I've had in open lobbies for quite a while. There was many more races aside from this. And also just to let you know, over the Christmas period, I plan to stream all my open lobbies in future on Twitch. So on Twitch, if you subscribe on Twitch, you'll actually get access to the benefits within my Discord, the updated setups, the priority invites into these lobbies, and also I will be doing coaching in December, but it won't be for the entire of December. So if you'd like to be coached by me for a 90-minute one-to-one session, head over to www.coachlimits.com because there isn't really too many slots available for December. Thank you so much for supporting the videos. Please let me know what you think of the cockpit camera situation. And yeah, I hope you have a great evening and I'll catch you very, very soon. Peace.